Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a genuinely fascinating intersection: how specialized AI is bridging the gap between professional strategy and our own personal development. We're going to look at the tangible, real-world value of specialized AI. And to be clear right out of the gate, we're not talking about some gimmick or a shiny new digital toy here. We're talking about a genuine, 24/7 sparring partner that actually grows with you over time. If you've ever felt like your thoughts were just way too crowded to see a situation clearly, well, this analysis of our source material is going to completely change how you view artificial intelligence. So, let's start with a very real pain point that the source material brings up: the true bottleneck for leaders, founders, and really any professional today. It is not a lack of data. It's definitely not that you don't have enough information at your fingertips. I mean, your inbox is absolute proof of that, right? The real problem is the overwhelming, deafening noise. There is simply too much pulling at your attention at any given second, which makes it incredibly difficult to find genuine clarity when you actually need to sit down and make a decision. And right alongside all that noise is the constant, unrelenting pressure. The lines between our business lives and our private lives are blurring more than ever before. A business problem is rarely just a business problem anymore, is it? It bleeds right into your evenings, it takes over your weekends, and it impacts your personal relationships. You're carrying the weight of leadership and life simultaneously, and that creates this intense pressure cooker environment where finding a clear path forward feels almost impossible.
Which brings us to the final piece of this modern trap: having way too many conflicting opinions at once. The sources point out a brilliant truth here. Really smart people often get stuck inside their own intelligence. When you can see every single angle, every risk, and every potential outcome, you can become completely paralyzed. You end up rationalizing around something you've probably felt for a long time simply because there are just too many thoughts fighting for dominance in your head.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the illusion of generative AI.
We've all seen the impressive demos, right? AI writing essays or magically generating code. But why do those generic tools usually fail to solve this specific leadership bottleneck we just talked about? Well, the difference is actually stark. Generic AI is broad. It's fantastic for writing summaries or generating a quick first draft, and it sounds incredibly smart. But it suffers from amnesia. Every single time you open a new window, you are starting from zero. Specialized AI, on the other hand, is entirely focused. It doesn't just process text. It's a voice and avatar-driven partner that actually remembers your past conversations. It understands your context. And that means you don't just get safe, generic advice. You get a partner that continues thinking with you over time. Which brings us to Section 2, AI Ben, your daily sparring partner.
This introduces a massive shift from using AI as, say, a superpowered encyclopedic search engine to a highly specific solution, an entity known as AI Ben. Now, to really grasp this, we have to look at the definition of what makes this AI specialized. AI Ben is a visual avatar, and it is built on over 30 years of lived executive coaching, entrepreneurship, and strategic experience. It's constrained by very specific boundaries and frameworks, so this isn't a tech gadget trying to impress you with clever code. It is accumulated, real-world human expertise translated into an accessible, 24/7 sparring partner. It is there exactly when your head is full, whether that happens to be 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in the office or 3 a.m. on a Sunday at home.
And here is the real paradigm shift. You don't talk to it, just hoping it will fetch a quick answer for you. You talk with it. The conversational interface is absolutely vital here because, as the source notes, a lot of people don't really know what they mean until they hear themselves say it out loud. Speaking out loud to a visual avatar that actively listens and responds helps you catch your own hidden assumptions. It literally forces your tangled thoughts out into the open where you can actually examine them.
Let's look at how this works in practice. Section 3, Practical Example 1, the difficult conversation.
We're going to start with something pretty much every leader dreads: the difficult conversation. Whether it's with a co-founder, an employee, an investor, or a partner, these are the high-stakes moments where communication usually breaks down. In these moments, you have to remember this crucial insight. A boundary is not only a sentence, it is a position. If you ask a generic AI to write a script for firing someone or setting a firm boundary, it'll give you really polite, polished words. But a generic script fails because it completely lacks emotional truth. You might say the quote-unquote right words, but if your energy is angry, scared, or apologetic, the other person is going to feel it immediately. Practicing your boundary out loud with a specialized avatar helps you find the language that is clear and firm without being unnecessarily destructive. Because ultimately, in real life, tone matters so much more than the script.
A sentence can be factually perfect and still land terribly. Because AI, Ben, is conversational, it listens to your tone. It acts as a mirror that asks back, helping you catch exactly where you are being a bit too defensive, where you're casting blame, or maybe where you are softening the message so much that the boundary completely disappears. It helps you align your actual words with your underlying intention way before the real conversation even happens.
Moving right along to Section 4, Practical Example 2, Pitches and Presentations. We have all been there. You are so close to your own business idea that you know all the minute details, the exceptions, the entire roadmap. But when you actually try to explain it, the listener just gets lost in the noise. The source provides a truly fantastic analogy for fixing this. Practicing a pitch silently in your head or in front of your bathroom mirror is like singing in the shower. It feels totally safe. You sound great to yourself. But practicing out loud with an AI avatar that listens and responds, well, that's like singing for a vocal teacher. It forces you right out of your comfort zone. The bathroom mirror doesn't stop and ask you why your story suddenly became vague, but a specialized conversation partner definitely does.
So the crucial point here is the actual process itself. First, you speak the pitch out loud. Second, you literally hear where your own energy drops or where you catch yourself starting to ramble. And third, the AI actively challenges the logic. It helps cut through the clutter of a crowded pitch, ensuring that you are prioritizing true clarity over just trying to sound impressively smart. It helps you strip away all that mental fog before you ever walk into the boardroom.
Now, let's set some expectations in Section 5, the boundary, what it is not.
For any tool to be truly credible, it absolutely has to know its limits. Overclaiming is a massive, massive problem in the AI space right now. So let's be explicitly clear about what AI Ben is not. It is not a therapist. It's not a psychologist. It is not a doctor. It is definitely not an infallible oracle. It works on probability, and it can and will still miss nuances. And it is certainly not a replacement for human relationships or human accountability. It is there to reflect and structure your thoughts, to act as a first-line sounding board. But it is absolutely not a replacement for qualified medical care or professional human responsibility when serious, real-world issues are at play.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, Grow with your AI partner. Understanding those specific boundaries we just covered is what makes the system safe for long-term use. Because, as the source wisely notes, a business problem is rarely only a business problem. Because this specialized AI actually retains context across all your conversations, a session that starts today as a simple pitch preparation might naturally evolve tomorrow into a much deeper conversation about your fear visibility, or your personal confidence, or maybe your struggle to set boundaries with your team. It grows with you. It seamlessly bridges that gap between your professional challenges and your private, personal development, offering continuous, daily support.
Which leaves us with this final, pretty powerful question to ponder. When was the last time you actually heard your own thoughts out loud? Think about it. In a world full of endless noise, immense pressure, and a million conflicting opinions, having a continuous, 24/7 space to safely hear your own thinking might just be the absolute most valuable application of AI we've seen yet. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep questioning and keep learning.